Hey guys, Wonny here. Ever been stranded with car trouble and thought you needed a tow? That sinking feeling when you turn the key and get nothing but a click. Or you see that dreaded steam pouring from under the hood. We've all been there. You immediately start thinking about the cost of a tow truck, the hassle of getting to a shop, and losing a whole day. But what if I told you that a lot of those common breakdowns don't require a trip to the garage at all? Today, we're counting down the top 7 problems a mobile mechanic can fix right where you are, saving you time, money, and a whole lot of stress. So what exactly is a mobile mechanic? Think of them as a repair shop on wheels. They're certified professionals who bring the tools, the parts, and the expertise directly to your location. Whether you're stuck in your driveway, at the office parking lot, or on the side of the highway. It's an incredible service that turns a potentially day-ruining event into a minor inconvenience. They can handle a surprising amount of repairs without ever needing to put your car on a lift. Alright, kicking off our list at number 7 is probably the most common roadside headache of them all, the dead battery. You hop in your car, ready to go, you turn the key and all you hear is that dreaded click, 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 or even worse, complete silence. Classic sign the battery has given up the ghost. This can happen for a lot of reasons. Maybe you left your lights on, maybe it's just old and can't hold a charge. Maybe it's the cold weather finally doing it in. Enter the mobile mechanic. They'll arrive with a professional-grade jump pack, way more powerful and reliable than jumper cables. Here's the game changer. A good mobile mechanic won't just jump you and leave. They've got diagnostic tools to test your battery's health and the charging system. If you need a new battery, you're in luck. The mechanic can source and deliver the correct battery to you. They'll disconnect the old battery, clean any corrosion off the terminals, and install the new one securely. Narrator VO. Coming in at number 6 is another all-too-familiar problem, the flat tire. Narrator VO. You might hear a loud pop while driving, or maybe you just walk out to your car in the morning and see it sagging sadly to one side. Narrator VO. That unmistakable thump, thump, thump of a flat is a sound no driver wants to hear. It's not just an inconvenience. Driving on a flat tire can destroy the tire completely and damage your expensive wheel rim. Narrator VO. Now, most cars come with a spare tire and a basic toolkit. Narrator VO. But let's be honest, have you ever tried changing a tire on the sloped shoulder of a busy highway? It can be incredibly dangerous. The lug nuts can be rusted on and impossible to remove with the tiny wrench they give you. Narrator VO. Plus, many modern cars don't even come with a spare anymore, just a can of sealant and an inflator that's useless for anything more than a tiny puncture. Narrator VO. This is a perfect job for a mobile mechanic. They show up with professional-grade equipment that makes the job safe and fast. They'll have a proper hydraulic jack that's stable and can lift the car with ease. Narrator VO. They'll use an impact wrench or a big breaker bar that can zip off even the most stubborn, over-tightened lug nuts in seconds. Narrator VO. Once the wheel is off, they can properly assess the situation. If it's a simple puncture, they can often perform a professional-grade repair right there. And if you don't have a spare, many mobile services can even source, deliver, and mount a brand new tire for you on the spot. Alright, at number 5, we're diving under the hood to talk about starter motor issues. This one can be tricky because its main symptom is very similar to a dead battery. You get in the car, you turn the key, and you hear a single loud click, but the engine doesn't crank over at all. All your lights and your radio work perfectly, which tells you the battery has plenty of juice. That's the classic sign that your starter motor or the starter solenoid has failed. The starter's job is simple but crucial. It's a small, powerful electric motor that engages with the flywheel and physically spins it to start combustion. When it fails, your engine simply can't start. Diagnosing this can be tough for the average driver. A mobile mechanic can quickly and accurately diagnose this. They won't just start guessing. They'll use a multimeter to check for voltage at the starter solenoid when you turn the key. For many cars, starter replacement doesn't need a shop lift. A skilled mobile mechanic with the right tools can unbolt the old starter, install the new one, reconnect everything, and your car starts like new. So what looked like a tow to the shop problem can often be fixed in your driveway in an hour or two. No tow truck, no waiting for a bay, just a fast, efficient repair that gets you moving again. Moving on to number 4, we have alternator problems. The alternator is the heart of your car's electrical system when it's running. While the battery starts the car, the alternator takes over from there. When the alternator starts to fail, you're running on borrowed time. You might see a battery warning light illuminate on your dashboard while you're driving. You might notice your headlights starting to dim and brighten intermittently, especially when you're idling. Diagnosing a bad alternator is a mobile mechanic's bread and butter. With the engine running, they'll connect a voltmeter to your battery. A healthy alternator should be putting out somewhere between 13.5 and 14.5 volts. If the reading is down around 12 volts or less, it's a clear sign the alternator isn't doing its job. On a huge number of vehicles, alternator replacement is a very manageable roadside job. The alternator is usually located right at the top front of the engine, making it one of the more accessible components. They'll bolt the new unit in place, reinstall the serpentine belt, making sure it's routed correctly, and reconnect the wiring. After installation, they'll perform another charging system test to verify the new alternator is working perfectly. Cracking the top 3, we have a scary one: the overheating engine. There's nothing that gets a driver's heart racing quite like seeing that temperature gauge shoot into the red, or even worse, seeing white steam billowing from under the hood. When you see that, the absolute first thing you need to do is pull over safely and shut off the engine immediately. Continuing to drive an overheating engine can cause catastrophic damage. An engine can overheat for several reasons, and many of them are fixable on the spot. The most common cause is simply a low coolant level. Another frequent culprit is a failed radiator hose. These rubber hoses can become brittle and crack with age, or a hose clamp can come loose. Other possibilities include a stuck thermostat or a faulty radiator fan. When a mobile mechanic arrives, they will first let the engine cool down before doing anything else. Once it's cool, they can start their diagnosis, checking coolant levels and inspecting hoses for cracks or leaks. If the problem is a simple leak from a hose, the mechanic can often replace the faulty hose right there. They'll drain the old coolant, install the new hose, and refill the system with the correct type of antifreeze. After refilling, they will properly burp the cooling system to remove air pockets, then run the engine and monitor the temperature. So, a situation that looks like a total disaster can often be resolved with a new hose and some fresh coolant. In the number 2 spot, we're talking about something you absolutely cannot compromise on: your brakes. Your ability to stop safely is the most important safety feature of your car. So, when you start to hear a high-pitched squealing, a deep metallic grinding sound, every time you press the pedal, you need to get it checked out immediately. Other warning signs include a soft or spongy brake pedal that goes down further than usual, your car pulling to one side when you brake. The most frequent problem is simply worn-out brake pads. Most brake pads have a small metal tab called a wear indicator. When the pad material wears down, this tab contacts the rotor and creates that high-pitched squeal. A mobile mechanic can diagnose this with a quick visual inspection. Many drivers think any brake work requires a fully equipped garage, but a surprising number of common issues can be handled by a mobile mechanic. Brake pad replacement is standard for mobile techs. They remove the old worn pads, inspect the caliper and rotor for damage, lubricate contact points to prevent noise, and install the new pads. Beyond pads, they can handle other issues like bleeding brake lines to remove air and restore firm pedal feel. On-the-spot service means you don't have to risk driving with compromised brakes to a shop. And here we are at the number 1 spot: fuel system issues. This is a broad category, but it covers a range of problems that can leave you completely stranded. The most obvious and maybe a little embarrassing one is simply running out of gas. It happens to the best of us. You think you can make it to the next station, the engine sputters, coughs, and then dies, leaving you powerless on the roadside. A long walk with a gas can isn't always safe or practical. Beyond just an empty tank, other common fuel system problems can mimic the same symptoms. A clogged fuel filter is a major one. Over time, your fuel filter traps debris. Eventually, it can get so clogged that your car might start to hesitate or sputter during acceleration, lose power, and eventually might not start at all. A mobile mechanic is perfectly equipped to handle these fuel-related predicaments. If you've just run out of gas, They can deliver a few gallons of fuel directly to your location, enough to get you to the nearest gas station. If the problem is a suspected clog, they can check for fuel pressure using a specialized gauge. On many cars, the fuel filter is accessible, and replacing it is straightforward for a prepared mechanic. So whether it's an empty tank, a clogged filter, or even a weak fuel pump on some models, a mobile mechanic can often provide the solution. This ability to solve the fundamental need of an engine, getting fuel, is why it takes the top spot on our list. So there you have it, guys. The top 7 common car problems that you don't need a tow truck for. From a simple dead battery to a clogged fuel filter, a skilled mobile mechanic can handle a huge range of issues right where you are. They bring the shop to you, saving you the time, the stress, and often the extra expense. So next time your car breaks down, remember, these 7 problems can often be fixed right where you are. This knowledge is all about empowering you as a car owner. I hope you found this breakdown helpful. If you did, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. And for more practical car tips and tricks that save you time and money, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss the next video. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment down below and share your own roadside repair stories. Have you ever been saved by a mobile mechanic? Until next time, drive safe.